Okay, I am ready.
So should I just start in?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna White, your host for Keeping It Real on Purpose. And I am so glad today that we have someone that we just had this most amazing pre-show talk. But we're gonna give you some information a little bit later. So my guest today is none other than Donna Fields. And she has, see those books in the back there? I'm so excited because it's not enough to say that's 101 scaffolding techniques, but it's about teaching. And today's subject is going to be about teaching, making teaching exciting and authentic. Welcome to the show, Donna. How are you?
Oh my goodness, Edna, thank you so much. I'm doing really well. So very excited to be here.
Great. So, give our audience a little background on you, what you do, so we can get in there and start mushing around and asking questions.
Okay, excellent. All right, right now I'm speaking to you all from Spain. I'm on the east coast of Spain in Valencia, right on the beach. I know, it's pretty idyllic. I didn't realize it when I first moved here, but it is. But I'm originally from New York, lived in New York State.
Yay!
I know. Um, Moved to New Mexico, which I have to say, because so many Americans do not know this, New Mexico is a state in the United States. But
Yes,
anyway,
it is.
yes. But in New Mexico, it was really important to learn Spanish. So the Spanish embassy at the time was offering free grants to come to Spain. And I said, great, I'll go to Spain
No.
for a month. A month, I'll learn Spanish and I can go back to New Mexico and live the rest of my life in Santa Fe, which is absolutely beautiful. I think everyone knows that in 1 month you do not learn a language. So I'm here 20 years later, still working on it.
As long as you're working on it, that's okay. That's really,
Yeah,
really okay.
yeah, thank you. So,
Wonderful,
the
wonderful.
reason why I think Edna and I connected is because I became a teacher in New Mexico. Absolutely love teaching, never expected to be a teacher. And what I say is that I facilitate learning because teaching has a connotation of being a little bit authoritarian, especially, Edna,
Yeah.
you probably relate to this. If you grew up on the East Coast, it is authoritarian and it's not that fun.
Yes, it's
being
not.
being talked all day. So
Yes.
my mission basically is helping teachers let go of control, having a little more fun
Hmm.
in the classroom, letting students participate more, and bringing in authentic learning. So that's where we are.
Ooh, ooh. I love the fact of that you make teaching exciting. Now, for me, I could tell you probably the most exciting thing that I ever had during school was, I mean, in general, general school would be gym.
I knew you
Because
were
you
going to
moved
say that.
around,
I knew it. Yeah. Yeah.
everything else was like, couldn't do it.
Painful,
But
right?
if we had exciting teachers, it would be like primo. So tell us how to be an exciting teacher.
Okay, well, I think it's perfect that you just said your favorite course, a little bit in jest, but your favorite course was gym. It's because you were moving, because you had
Yes.
freedom, and because someone may have been
Yes.
telling you to move, but you wanted to move. So what
Yeah.
we need to do in the classroom is to give students what they want, but also what they need. And
Right.
what they want is to move, they want to talk, they want to touch, they probably want to speak. And what they also need to do is learn. So if you can combine those two
Yeah.
things, you have got
Oh,
explosive,
so
sparkly
lovely.
learning. And that's what this book is
Yes.
back here. It's 101 techniques to do exactly that. And there's one more thing, Edna, that we
Awesome.
talk about. It's
Yes.
including different classroom languages in all of the mix. So
What?
yeah.
Classroom, wait, classroom languages?
Yes. What I mean by that is that you might have one language at
Please.
home. We call that the home
Yeah.
language. And then you might want
Oh,
it to be in a Spanish or a French class or a Chinese class, whatever language is the classroom language, you add these activities to
yeah.
it. And you've got children who are not only learning, but they want to learn the language.
So give us an example of that.
Alrighty. Okay, so for instance, if we're going to talk about touching, there's things we use cipher wheels, for instance, where they have to decode words and learn, but it's the classroom language. So they're decoding in another language, but
Right.
their minds are working in, all different ways, combining the left and right brain. They're also using
Gotcha.
their hands. They're also, the cipher wheels I make are colorful, and you're working
Okay.
in pairs. So there's so many, there's collaborative learning, there's cognitive, there's tactile, there's
Mhm.
verbal and auditive learning. And so many things are combined in one simple deciphering activity that the kids
Mhm.
don't even realize how much they're learning. And I'll have to,
Yeah.
one other thing, Edna, this is really important, and I think you're going to
Yeah.
really understand this, that we need, the content is not important. The content is less important than all of the other skills that we just talked about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's,
so
you're right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
no, because what I try to tell teachers gently, and I'm not that gentle because I'm from New York, but I've
I
learned to
love
tell
it.
what I try to explain to teachers is we need to remember that our students are going to remember just, well, such a small percent of the content, but they will
Mhm.
always remember how they learned and how we treated them. And so that's
Yeah.
where the focus needs to be.
Yeah. I remember when I went to China to teach English as a second language. And I remember this very concept, and I didn't know what it was called. And I was like, I don't want to be bored in class teaching these English words. They were so boring at the time for me. So I was like, okay, I got to incorporate it. And I was a vacation at the time, vacation Bible school teacher. So I would always incorporate all these fun activities. So I remember the first time I was like, okay, I'm going to play baseball with them, but I'm going to put the words on a piece of paper, crumble it up, and I'm going to make them swing the bat, hit the piece of paper into the audience where the other kids were, and they were to catch it. And if they're the ones that caught it, come up front for their team, right? And they would have to say the word and then spell it. And so I did this in the classroom, right? And we're it now. I have a Chinese teacher with me, and so I'm doing this. She's like, "What are you doing today?" So it's like, I don't. I hope it works. I hope it works. And I go to do it, and I mean, it was amazing hit. The kids from other classes came running because they heard the kids laughing,
Oh
and they
my goodness.
came running. What are they doing? What are they doing? The director of the school that I was in, they said your classes are a hit. I said, yeah, because I don't want them to be bored. Like I was bored throughout school. I was really bored. I mean, completely bored. I started doing other people's homework. That's how bad it was. I was doing like higher grade, learning. It was just so boring. But I maybe got one good teacher like you that was all like just could paint the whole world colors. Like you just saw the world in different colors. How do you work with kids that have different learning styles in this technique?
Oh my goodness, what a great question. And I just want your listeners to take note of how much you moved while you were explaining all that. You have so much energy. And and probably your teacher, you probably drove your teachers crazy, didn't you?
I
Probably
did.
telling
I
you to
did.
sit still all the time. And what you needed was not to sit still, you needed to move, and you
Yeah.
needed your whole body to
Yeah.
learn. So your question
Yeah.
is perfect just because of who you are and what you just did.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so with different learning styles, I mean, it's just about tuning into the kids, and you did it instinctually. And I love
Yeah.
telling people that you can go to these workshops. I give workshops. I travel around the world giving workshops.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You can also just trust your instincts and
Right. Oh, that's good.
just look at your students. And I'm exactly like you. If I'm bored, I don't want to walk into the classroom, and my students are going to be more bored. So
Yeah.
when I first started teaching, I was with this population of students that hated school. They just hated it. And I had six first. And I love sixth graders because their personality is just coming out and they're learning to argue and they're not so,
Yeah.
compliant all the time. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a little bit of character there. I like that.
Yeah.
They didn't like school, so I wanted to help them learn to do it. So I made pillows and I let them lie
Mhm.
on the floor and read, and I let them walk around the classroom when they needed to. And
Yeah.
so We just need to tune in to what the kids need. And then when we ask them to sit down and listen, they will. They're more likely to.
Well, right, right.
So,
That's right.
yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. I can remember when I was in class. You know, they have the mommy and me classes with, and so the parents are learning. And my director came to me. They said, "Your class is packed out. Do you mind giving another class?" I said, "Why?" I said, "You know, I'm teaching 5-year-olds. 5-year-olds pick up things like this. Like they're on it. They know how to they can mimic you. They can mimic exactly what you say, how you say it." They were like, "No, it's for the parents." I was like, "Oh God." But I was like, "Oh God." But the
Yeah,
parent, when you're exciting, I think that excitement kind of like expels and it goes to them. And that was one of the heights of my instructing and teaching life, is that I got it. I got it that this is you know, what they want. I got the student. And that's really important in what you do, right? Is to get the student.
exactly. You need to find some way to connect with them. And
Yeah.
saying that, I think we both understand that there are personalities. We are humans and they're humans. And there are going to be some students we just can't connect to, or that
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
difficult to. But for the
Yeah.
most part, there's something we can do to connect, to find out what actor they like, what singer they like, what sport they
Yeah.
like. And just that
Yeah.
one connection, if we look them in the eye once a day, we may be the only person who looks them in the eye and says
Oh, that's
asks them
good.
something about their personal lives. They're good for that day. That's 24
Yeah.
hours, they're good, and then we'll worry about the next day.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that how you work in authenticity? Is that how you bring it in?
In a sense, I mean, we have got to, you probably knew this from working in China, that especially language lessons are very alienated from real life. If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to think of an example right now because I'm not good at spontaneous thinking in that sense. But just think about language lessons. I walk with the dog. If you don't like dogs, it's not going to mean anything to you. So bring
No.
in cell phones, bring in, what kind of music the kids like, bring
Yeah.
in recycling, bring in problems in the world that they can solve.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
when the kids can relate to the topics, they're going to be more engaged. They'll be more motivated to learn with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
There's only,
Yeah.
I don't believe in standing in front of the class and telling them what to know. Because if I tell them what to know
Yeah.
and tell them what to do, they're going to leave the classroom looking for someone else to tell them what to know and what to do. That's not the kind of
Exactly.
student I want. I want independent
Exactly.
global thinkers. I mean,
That's
imagine
correct.
it's not that radical.
No.
Bring
You just brought something else to mind. I did a we this the curriculum was about a dog, walking a dog with the and so I brought in that song with by DMX about the dogs. Where my dogs at? Woo, woo. So I had them play it, and it was like the hit of the century. Like, oh my gosh, you're a regular person. Like, we heard that song before. I was like, okay, and it was relatable. It was relatable, and I was able to not throw away the conventional way, but add it, like you said, add that into what
Right.
they are familiar with. And that's so very important for kids. As adults, we want them education. We want that law piece in there, that boring part.
Right,
We
right,
want
right.
that in there, but as we want them to learn as well. And creativity, I think, has been lost along the way because of how you're teaching teachers to teach with creativity and authenticity, because it comes from you being your authentic self. If you love having fun, it comes from you. I'm going to be a great teacher because I'm going to make them have fun and they're going to learn. You know what I'm saying? So if you love that, and you're living authentic. Oh, I'm getting tongue tied.
Authentically.
Authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, authentically. Then you can say, hey, it's not that hard. It's not that hard, right?
It isn't that hard. It's just as if, you go to lunch with friends and you want to listen to what they like and they want to listen to what you like. So I'm not saying that we want our students to be our friends. Absolutely not.
Right. No.
We are the ultimate responsibility in the classroom, but we are not there to be dictators. We're
No,
sharing a space
no,
on the planet, and we want to make
yeah.
it a healthy and safe learning environment. And that means recognizing that they're people. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you think about it, anywhere on the planet until you're 15 years old, you are obligated to go to school. So they have this
Yes.
obligation. So they're going because they're obligated. Most of them don't want to go. So what
Right.
we can do is make it a nice place for them to have to go to, you know,
Yeah.
and and to
Would
learn.
you say, yeah, would you say that homeschooling, and there's an insurgence of that around here, would you say that is the reason why that it's coming back around?
You know, I can't answer that specifically, but I do really believe in
Okay.
homeschooling. I believe in it
Okay.
strongly, and the people I've spoken to are genuinely dedicated to home doing it well, either if they're
Right.
parents or friends of the parents. I know that a lot of times
Right.
it has a basis in religion. As long
Mm-hmm.
as I say about any religion, as long as you're not telling anyone else what to do or anyone else what to believe, and you're even including in your homeschooling curriculum other ways to
Right.
believe and other ways
Right.
that show other cultures and other customs, so that you are
Yeah.
creating a platform of your values. Perfect, wonderful. And
Right.
hopefully helping your children or students keep an open mind about other people's beliefs and
Yeah.
values.
That's right. Creativity, creation, she's saying, and authenticity and exciting, all in one bunch. Listen, Donna, what could you tell any teacher? Because we're really talking to teachers right now. I think that's what we were talking to. And what could you tell any teacher right now? Tell them, give them some robust information because they need to know. This is what we're crying out for.
Okay, I would say, please, first of all, use your intuition. Secondly, try to make something fun, but it has to have a basis of something, solid information. But believe in your students. Help them have agency. Walk into the classroom not with the intention to tell them what to do, but to co-create their learning environment, to co-create norms and consequences, to co-create
Right.
objectives of your learning. If you can have enough confidence, and I know that your listeners can, because man, if they follow you, they're already confident. They're, brewing inside of them. If they can walk into the
Right.
classroom confident enough to co-create with their students, ooh, you're already,
Mhm.
hitting it out of the ballpark.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Donna, this brings us to the end of the show. I need the teachers to get in touch with you because if they ask me questions, I'm not going to answer them. So, how can they get in touch with you and get that book that's back there? Because I know we all might need that. Yeah, get that book. How can we get that? And how can we get you?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, this book actually you can get from you can get from my sister. So all you have to do is contact me. She has a ton. She has boxes in the States that she's sending. I know, because Amazon is not working, so we're just doing
Yeah.
it by ourselves, but it works. So I
Yes.
have a website called scaffoldingmagic.com, because scaffolds are
Oh, that's good.
magic, and that's my
Hmm.
website. So just contact me there, and thanks so
Wonderful.
much for asking. Yeah.
That would be great. That's not hard to forget. Scaffolding magic. That's easy. So we'll find you. And if you guys want to send her a question, I'll have her information on the bottom of the video and on the audio. You always can press the button and send the question directly to Donna, and I'll get it to her so she
Oh my
can talk
goodness,
to
can't
you
wait.
directly. All
Yay.
right. So we want to thank you guys for being here today because you could be anywhere else, but you're here with us today. This is Edna White and my esteemed guest, Donna Fields, saying goodbye for now.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Edna.